Thankful to have this opportunity to be with you on this Thursday. And today I want to just share something that I believe is important for us to be careful concerning all that we're hearing in the world around us. I've given this warning a few times before, but I want to give it a little different angle this time. In Ephesians chapter 5, we have here the admonition for us to have the power of God upon the church. We find the great doctrine of the church laid out in the book of Ephesians. What a wonderful plan it was for this age, the local church, and what a joy to be part of it. And in Ephesians 4, we see how the church functions and how we should have a oneness together and to be ministering. Every Christian is a minister. But in chapter 5, we have the power of the Spirit that comes in the life of someone who does not allow the world to inundate them, but instead is free to walk in the light and let the Spirit of God control. And we have that great command there in verse 18 to be filled with the Spirit. But I want to look at verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. Now, this is in the context here of walking in the light and proving what is acceptable. Now, why did I bring up those verses in regard to being careful about all that we're hearing and seeing? Well, we do need to know what's going on. I'm pretty much up on many of the different factors of our government and our business world, the whole medical community being affected by all that's going on. I know those things, but I've been very careful not to allow myself, especially as we are seeing the moral revolution become stronger and stronger, to allow myself to spend much of time to the neglect of the ministry, the Word of God, especially time with the Lord in the Word and in prayer, and in fellowship with others and ministering to others. If we just get overwhelmed by all the darkness of this world, we will actually begin to start fellowshipping in our minds with it. I know that sounds unique, but we begin to think too much and become familiar with the way that the world is thinking and the lifestyle that is coming out of that. And frankly, I think a lot of believers do not realize how they've changed their thinking by watching way too much television, way too much news, especially news that comes out of the more modern progressive thinking, but even conservative news. Hearing all of the things that are perverse and wicked, and we all, of course, are stirred as we see what's happening to our children and all these things. But as we listen to this, we need to evaluate it, have a biblical perspective, and not immerse ourselves in it in a way that is going to dominate us. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, because I think this is important. We can actually read and listen rather than watch and imbibe. We can make right choices of how to use our time and not allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by the culture around us. Be discerning, walk in the light, have fellowship with God, have fellowship with godly Christians, know what's going on, but don't fellowship with the works of darkness.